so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness which creates and animates all things. After years of exploring this awe-inspiring truth on this podcast, I'm super excited to announce that we are now going even deeper down the rabbit hole on the new late-night style consciousness-elevating talk show called Optimistic, which features none other than you, the listeners. Optimistic is taped out of the epic spaceship-esque 8-bedroom property we call the Mystic Manor that myself and the rest of the Optimistic crew now navigate reality from in Venice Beach, California. And you are invited to come experience a Mystic Manor immersion week with us. During your week-long stay, you'll enjoy unique workshops, chef-prepared meals, one-on-one time coaching and consulting with me, and even co-creating magic with me as a guest on both Optimistic and an episode of the Positive Head podcast. When I started this, my aim with these immersive retreats was to facilitate the ultimate spiritual upgrade and tune-up, so to speak, for our guests while providing them with one of the most memorable experiences of their lives. And I'm happy to say that as of this recording, every guest at the end of their trip so far has told me that they have had a profound and transformational experience at the Mystic Manor and that they definitely want to come back. All that being said, we only have a limited number of spots available between now and next July. And as of this recording, about half of those spots are already filled. So if there's any part of you that is screaming, yes, I want to come, I feel like I need to be there, go now and book a slot with me to discuss how we can put our heads together and make it happen at calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. I know for some people, there is also that little voice in their head saying, why not? I can't get off work. I can't afford it, and on and on and on. But, really Henry Ford, I think, said it best. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And I'm confident that where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm personally committed to doing everything in my power, including discounts and payment plans, to get you here if it is something that truly feels like a huge yes for you energetically and like you're meant to be here. Once again, the link to book time to discuss with me is calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. That's spelled calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. All one word, of course. And book in some time and look forward to seeing you soon here at the Mystic Manor. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we grow again. I am in the studio and so happy to say I'm not alone. I have the Fab Four sitting around me, this week's Mystic Manor guest. Say hi, everyone.
Hi.
I said say hi, everyone, not hi. So here we are again. This is the fifth? I think this is the fifth week here at the Mystic Manor, and it has been so incredible so far. I'm so excited. There's 32 more weeks at least ahead of us. You guys are somewhat guinea pigs, still coming on the early end of things, and it's been such a wonderful time. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you just found this podcast yesterday. So we are doing Positive Head has been around 4.5 years. We're doing a new show called Optimistic, a late night style TV talk show. And it features you guys and these guys who are here. We're actually going to film it tomorrow. So live studio audience, live visionary art painting, musical guests, performance. and all of the participants in the show interview. I have a soul share interview, but then also bringing like all 4 of you guys will come out tomorrow night on the show as well and get to participate and co-create and ask a question of the interviewee guest and everything. So all of them have been here since right now, as of recording, it's Friday, and they've been here since Monday. So we still have a few days left. We have a full day together today after recording the podcast, and tomorrow, of course, is the live taping and after party. So yeah, we're basically just. The idea of doing these Friday shows is to share kind of what the experience has been so far, what's bubbled up, really whatever. We really don't do a lot of planning before turning on the microphone. And in true fashion, with how I like to roll, I really like to keep things as spontaneous as possible. So, in the spirit of that, I think Alex would be the best person to kick things off because he's the most boisterous in the bunch this week.
Wow.
And,
what an honor.
What an honor. What a title, right?
Crazy title.
A loud guy. And funny and fun, and we've had such a great time with him this week.
Hopefully I live up to that.
Yeah, no pressure.
No pressure. I know, super pressure.
So how has your experience been? You came quite a ways. You came from D.C.
Yeah, it's been quite a week. What a whirlwind.
What a world. What a world.
No, it's been amazing, actually, Brandon. You've amassed an amazing team. Sydney, Everett, Ian, the chef, yourself, of course, all your guests and friends, Lily over there with the camera, just amazing,
lovely Lily,
and just amazing energy through the house. I feel it's just been just a overall awesome experience.
Cool.
Like more than I could have ever imagined.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's a lot of. I thought there was some hype with the previous guests, but no, they were
right
for real.
Cool. And obviously, really Friday and Saturday. I mean, Friday is the day that I spend the full day with these guys. So that's one of the reasons I really liked the idea originally of doing this podcast on Sunday morning. Because then we've had our full day together. You've had all day Saturday and the live taping and the party. So it's a true end of the week. The issue is like last week, someone left at 6 a.m. And as ambitious as I am to record podcasts, doing it at 5 a.m. on a Sunday probably isn't anyone's jam. So we still have quite a bit more to go. But so far, what is you said it kind of surpassed your expectations and has been everything you'd hoped it would be. What's been your favorite part so far?
Well, I mean, just being able to hang out with everybody and meeting these awesome new lifelong friends of mine and you guys, of course. Just one-on-one conversations and hot tub time machine. And the pool, just hanging out on the patio. Also, the guided meditations, the work with Sydney. I want to give a shout out to Kim Boda, who's pretty dope.
Kim's super amazing.
Yeah, and she really helped me break through some stuff and achieved what actually my goal was for this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, what was your goal?
To move past some negative experiences from my former life here, and
okay.
Actually learn forgiveness and genuine.
Do you mind sharing? I mean, would you be? And you can say no. Would you mind sharing? Sort of how you broke past that, and broke through that barrier.
Well, I mean, it was a process, but it was. So she did a workshop with us, right? A 2-day workshop.
So just to give a little preface, so Kim works closely with Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is one of the most incredible, scientists / mystics out there. Definitely someone that I'm calling in, having on this show and on Optimistic. And she works really closely with them. So a lot of the work that she did with the crew here today is sort of it's split over 2 half days, right? That you worked with her and kind of went through a whole workshop and program. So it was during that you're referencing that you sort of had some light bulbs going.
Yeah, it was actually later in the evening when we were able to talk outside of the workshop setting and just, we were all around the hot tub and then afterwards, on the patio, just having a normal conversation, less of a lecture.
Right.
That there was something that just clicked when I was describing the whole situation and.
Cool.
And I think because at first she was making us go through like our past, like what like habits and such that we wanted to change, all that. And I was like, I already know this. Why am I rehashing this?
Right.
But it was almost in a way like some kind of shadow work, which I found like extremely helpful, just to be able to face it and not have it bother me anymore. You know, I felt like for the longest time I've just been sweeping it under the rug and just throwing some positivity on top. But actually
some positive sprinkles.
Yeah, some sprinkles of positivity. But actually being able to write it out, speak it out loud, and face that shadow.
It's cathartic to speak about it,
absolutely.
too, especially in a safe container where all of us are holding space and, you know, really affirming and really validating each other's experiences.
Right, absolutely.
Super cathartic.
Yeah, and that's Masha speaking, by the way.
Hi.
Magical Masha on the mic.
Yeah. And no, it's been very synchronistic to meet her as well. I mean, our birthdays are one day apart. We have some very parallel themes in our journey, and being able to talk and flesh those out has been extremely helpful. And
Well, you and I too. I mean, one of your biggest challenges is overcoming a similar challenge that I had.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like being stabbed in the back by a business partner who I forgive.
Yeah, right. As my brother says, oh no, I forgive them as long as they just end up as a paraplegic. I'm good. You know, I'll be happy. And it's like, okay, dude, that's a little dark. Still not sure if he's joking, but yeah, absolutely. Forgiveness is like the biggest, you know, I feel like one of the most powerful tools, you know, as the book The Little Soul in the Sun talks about, you know, what part of the light did the little soul want to be? You could be kind, you could be, you know, forgiving was the one he's like, okay, there's all these different things. I can be creative, I can be kind, I could be forgiving. You know, that's the part of the light that is maybe a little more challenging to be than creative, for example.
And that was also very synchronistic, sort of that children's book. Yeah, Little Soul in the Sun. So Brandon gave me a copy of that on the first night after, you know, we talked a little briefly about it. And yeah, it was what a lesson from a children's book. Yeah. So you go ahead, Mash. Am I gonna do that?
Masha, I think you just got volunteered to step up to the mic.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, it's been a great experience. You know, there's a bit of structure, but not overwhelmingly so, which I actually prefer because it gives me some time to be introspective, to kind of think about how I want to move, what direction I want to move in my life moving forward. And also, you know, some social time, which is great because, as Alex mentioned, we totally hit it off right away, even though we come from like two literally opposite sides of the country.
Tell them where you're based out of?
Bay Area.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But just having one-on-one conversations and also having you guys, everyone here, has been awesome. And, you know, everyone's super validating and everyone has their own personality quirks, and that's fun too. That's fun too. So I think, you know, coming in here, I wanted to get some clarity on my direction and kind of dispel some self-judgments and self-doubt. And I'm definitely getting there. I woke up yesterday feeling so much love for myself. Yeah, I was just like, ooh, I am so awesome. I'm so powerful. This is great. And then even in the morning, I had all these synchronicities, like the number 33 kept showing up for me, or 333 all throughout. Like the bus that I got on was like 11:33 or something, and then the time that I kept checking, it was like 9:33 a.m. Of course. And I had a really great session with a healer that was totally like, he was just like, oh yeah, you're a healer. You're here to do that work. You're meant to actually come into your family line and heal your whole line. That's part of why you're here.
Wow.
And I was
no pressure.
No pressure or anything. Just my whole, you know, all past generations.
Yeah.
So.
Just for 1,000 generations of darkness that you're going to dispel. No worries.
But it's also empowering.
Yeah, totally empowering.
Special.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you said, you know, getting clarity was your sort of purpose, one of the things that you wanted to get out of this experience. And that's really what I just picked up on, what we were talking an hour ago, and I was like, one of the things that I get from you is like you're so clear as a person, as a being, and whenever I sense someone that's really clear, and there's not a lot of like blockages and anger issues and judgments or too much energy on what's wrong with the world or whatever, just like a really clear vessel. It's like what's great about that is it makes room for anything and everything to be able to come through. It's like there's not a lot of barriers. There's not a lot of static to get through, to manifest and step into what is meant next. And that's really the intention that I set with this place is like, okay, we're doing something really unique and magical. And this is definitely a vortex of energy. And there's constantly healers and people coming through, doing incredible things. And that's really the intention that I wanted to set is for the people who come in to this space, it's like sort of somewhat of a graduation for them of like, okay, like this place is a reflection of you and what you're capable of. It's like this is your home for the week, right? And it's not your home for the week because you don't belong here or it's not a reflection of you in some way. And I think that's a really important piece to take away for everyone. Out of the 111 of you who come throughout the course of the year, I really want everyone to walk away with that piece, and take a piece of take it with them, right?
Yeah, we belong here. We're meant to be here. We're all co-creating this together.
And like even when you first arrive, it's such a sense of community and safety, and everyone is so kind and just welcoming to whoever you are, wherever you come from, and that's really beautiful. Just to step into the house like that.
And that's Sam, and Sam's only 19 and going on like 38.
She's way more emotionally mature than I am.
She's got Alex beat by a landslide. As he's wearing his "Protest is the New Brunch" T-shirt.
So DC.
So DC. That's hilarious. So why don't we switch gears, Sam? Why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience thus far?
Hi, I'm Sam. It's been really wonderful. I actually came here with my mother, Jennifer, who's next to me. And we were kind of on this journey together. One of the reasons I wanted to be here for myself was to really work on my relationship, like with myself and, my physical self specifically, just creating a more positive healing space for myself and my body and who I am as a whole person. And I got to have a really wonderful session with Rebecca Hillebrand. She's fantastic. She's light years beyond just a massage therapist. It was so healing to be able to have that experience. It left me with just such a sense of hope of what I can do for myself moving forward in my life that I really loved. And then just to come, I went to her and then I came back to the house and then just to continue that positivity and light in the house and with everybody else and talking about that experience and sharing it is really wonderful too.
Yeah, speaking of being clear, at 19, I think I still was pooping my pants or something. I mean, okay, maybe that's a little extreme. That was 18. I stopped that at 18, everyone. But yeah, I mean, I've been so impressed with your energy and maturity and, and the fact that you came with your mom. It's like you guys are both so sweet. And and then your mom has impressed me sitting here. I mean, Mom just got her first tattoo yesterday. And I'm like, that is so cool. I loved it. It was so inspiring to me that you did that and just what the meaning of it. And so maybe step up for a moment and tell us a little bit about your deeply meaningful and cool looking tattoo.
My name is Jennifer. And this wonderful human being next to me. Samantha is one of my two daughters. My other daughter is Crystal, and they're both represented in my tattoo. I'm 52 years old, and never thought I would get a tattoo. Kind of toyed with the idea, and about maybe 10 days ago, it was less than 2 weeks ago, right before coming here, on the Positive Head Facebook page, was a post of a Buddhist symbol called unalome, which is a kind of a squiggly line. And the description was that, the path to enlightenment isn't straight.
Yeah, I saw this post, and I was like, how have I never seen this? And the symbol looked so cool. It almost reminded me of the Prince symbol or something, a little bit.
Yeah, and I've actually I'm Buddhist, and I had never seen this symbol before. And I've talked with a Tibetan Buddhist friend of mine, and she wasn't familiar with it. I think it's from Myanmar. But I was just really, really enamored with that. And my journey here has been very recent. I only started listening to podcasts in April of this year.
How dare you? I hope you've went back and listened to all 1,010 episodes.
We're working our way back.
Yeah, okay.
Right, absolutely. It's a lot of content to be shown on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a really transformative time in my life. I had a major shift with my job that really kind of shook me to my core. And it's just like, I have a longer commute now. I need to get into a better place in my head. I've never really listened to a podcast before. What can I listen to in the car? Okay, Google podcast positive. Oh, little Positive Head. That kind of looks cool.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah.
5 months later.
Wow.
So yeah, but the tattoo, and then the idea started really coming to me about the tattoo. So it's the Unalum symbol in the middle, and it has a rose on top with lotus petals kind of underneath the rose. And my daughter is actually Samantha Rose. And it's kind of linear. It's on my left inside forearm, and then the Unalum symbol, and then a crystal. It goes straight into a double pointed crystal with another little crystal at the bottom. And my other daughter's crystal. So and then
So
even
cool.
yesterday morning before I got the tattoo, I was meditating on meditating on chakras and trying to open my heart chakra. That's been part of my journey here. Has been trying to open up more loving, more of a loving, compassionate energy. And it's just like, chakras. Wait, chakras have colors. Ooh, what if I put color in it? So it's got all the chakra colors running all the way down.
It almost goes up and down like you would see a column of chakras, right?
Yeah.
And I like also how it starts small and gets bigger with the rose at the top, which is like it's sort of cone. Yeah, it's like blossoming. Yeah. It's so much more. For someone who, 52, 52, never got a tattoo, not like your jam, not your thing, and then you actually come up with this idea that's got so many layers of meaning and it's super beautiful. I'm thinking, wow, this is so much cooler than my Bugs Bunny with a machine gun tattoo across my chest. Has so much. No, I never followed through with that, guys. It was a very dark night where I considered. No. Why Bugs Bunny with a machine gun? Where'd that come from? Maybe it was because I said jam. It's like Space Jam. Isn't that a Bugs Bunny thing? Yeah. Michael Jordan should have been in the tattoo. If I thought of that, I would have done it. I'd have followed through. Oh, wow. So I think that's a really interesting point that you mentioned. For you, a big part of this has been opening your heart and stepping into something that you probably haven't done anything. I don't even think we've talked about it. Have we done any kind of like immersive retreat before?
No. Professionally, I'm a therapist. I'm a supervisor at a mental health clinic. So healing work and openness to all of this has really been part of my life in a real ongoing way. But being at this stage in life to reclaim who I was meant to be is part of what the journey has been. And it's been really interesting being here with my daughter because she's just, old soul. We all know that,
obviously.
Right? But in this lifetime, just sort of starting her journey. And so to sort of have this parallel process where she's discovering and I'm rediscovering has been really incredible.
Yeah. It's how's that been for you, Sam? Like doing this with your mom,
Yeah, it's been wonderful. We obviously have our own time for the things that we're personally working on, but then to be able to go back and to share it with you and to know that I have a point person almost to share my experiences, not just in the house but even after the fact. I could have realized something yesterday that won't dawn on me until a year from now, and I can always call my mom and be like, oh my gosh, remember the time that we spent together? These are all the things I've learned and these are all the things I want to talk to you about, and so that's really wonderful and really special just to be able to have that connection, and it'll always be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love the it's like Anne-Marie, who was here a few weeks ago. Shout out Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie was 60, and she's like, one of her trepidations coming in was like, oh, am I too old to be here or whatever? And I'm like, there's no such thing. Like, time is like, when you start to understand the reality, the truth of the situation in which we find ourselves, and that is that we're eternal beings, and right now, as you listen to this, is eternity. When you start playing with that idea, and like, okay, like, a billion Earth years from now, I'll be somewhere existing, doing something, expanding, growing, becoming more. You may look very different than you do in this moment, or, who even knows, right? It melts our mind to think about it. But I truly, truly believe that with all of my heart. Like, so whatever, it's never too late to start doing the personal work and to start expanding yourself. And so many people get to, past 30 and say, okay, well, I'm fixed. Here's who I am. I'm going to stay here. And not realizing that you continue, everything that you do, every bit of work that you do continues on with you. That your personality, your consciousness, it may expand to remember more of like, the expanded version of yourself beyond this, avatar earthly body. But I truly believe the lessons and the core things that we're growing through, all of that stuff carries forward, and that kind of dictates what options we get from there. Mm-hmm. I really believe it's like you get to the other side and you're like, cool, you leveled up to this point, so here are your options. Here's where you're at in the grand game that spans, lifetimes. And so for me, it's like, it always makes my heart so happy to see anyone who's like, oh, I'm 52. I'm going to go on my first retreat. I'm getting a tattoo. And, who knows? I think you're buying a jet and you're going to fly across the world tomorrow.
That would be nice.
Yeah. That's next week, folks. Book Jennifer's private jumbo jet. She's learning how to fly it with you, so you'll get a discount ticket.
It's part of, and I think something that really resonated with me that Alex talked about is just like, part of this journey has been, for me, allowing negativity in balance to positivity. Mm-hmm. You can't just sprinkle the positivity on top.
Yep.
And that's been part of my personal work, being a therapist and entering therapy, really deep therapy for the first time ever, for the last several months. A lot of really deep inner child work and really, really hard stuff, really hard emotions. Mm-hmm. And kind of going through that even here, and just sort of getting this waves of it and learning to allow it. Mm-hmm. Just allow. You can't battle it. You can't fight it off. Embrace it. To love and hold space for myself, like I have to in my work, has been such a lesson.
Yeah,
such a growing experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Yeah, I forgot to mention that as well. I mean, on top of forgiveness of the other individual, I mean, forgiving myself and actually appreciating that situation, that negative, well, not really negative in a way. I mean, it was just a growing experience. It was a learning experience and definitely necessary for my journey.
Challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And I appreciate it. I appreciate that ability to grow from that, and that's what sort of got me through and over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on up. Yeah, I'm such a fan of the Matt Kahn quote, whatever arises, love that, or I think the book title or whatever. And it really is. It's like, even me, people hear me on the show. I have moments of not feeling really upbeat, feeling like overwhelmed or stressed, and I talk about it. And it's like, a lot of times people are like, oh, how are you always in that state? And it's like, I'm not. I have moments where I'm just like, grumpy or agitated or whatever. And I really now tune in, like, okay, what part of this is me choosing a poor perspective versus me just dealing with something that is a sort of a natural byproduct that it's okay to feel. It's okay to not feel, you want to go and celebrate and go to a concert and, jump on the roller coaster in celebration time. It's like, oh, I need to pull my energy back. I need to retract. I'm feeling a little low energy. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. And I think it's really important to just embrace yourself there and really learn how to discern and differentiate between, sort of this natural thing happening and it happening because I'm choosing a poor perspective.
Absolutely. And that's been part of it. It's been this instantaneous perspective of, oh, here I am feeling out of it. Here I am being angry. Here I am feeling frustration. Okay, I'm not going to fight it, but I'm going to sort of watch it. And just one of the exercises we did with Sydney on the very first day, we had intentions, and mine was compassionate curiosity, and to have compassionate curiosity about that part of myself.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay, well, what is this, and what is it about? And not going to judge it, not going to beat it with a stick. Let's just allow it, but not get sucked in. Not get sucked in and just like see the world behind those eyes.
Right.
And just to let it be.
Right.
Because it can always be an opportunity, right, for growth or to learn something.
Always.
Yeah, so just asking yourself, like, what's meant for me?
Yeah.
What opportunity is here for me? That's something I learned with yesterday as a question that you can ask yourself. Yeah, and just to love it and accept yourself through it. Yeah.
Yeah, I always like to ask the question. It'll instantly shift something challenging for me if I phrase the question to myself, why is this happening for me?
Yeah. And you mentioned something like that. We were in the hot tub or something together, and I was talking about the things that I was like going through or like working through, and you said it back to me and framed it as that you get to go through, you get to work on. And that just totally shifted my perspective about it. And it's just really wonderful to experience or to look at every experience that you have as an opportunity.
Yeah.
And as, even if you don't understand it in the moment, it's something
Trusting.
for you. Trusting it and
Yep.
knowing that you yourself, whatever it is, can handle it and are capable of getting great things from it no matter what it is.
Yeah, totally. You're not given something if it's not, if you're never given something beyond what you're capable of dealing with. And yeah, that's a huge, how many of you out there, I know a lot of you've done it because everyone sitting here has probably done it. It's like a human thing. Like, oh, I have to go do this. I have to do that. I have to, in saying that energetically, everything is energy, right? Everything is spelling, casting a spell. There's such a difference between, oh, I get to go to work. How many of you have ever said, I get to go to work, right? Not many. But the energetics of it, it's like, well, you do get to go to work. If you're practicing radical gratitude, which is the key to everything else that you want in your life that maybe is outside of that job, it's, the fact that you are capable and willing and able and you're mobile and you can walk and you can go up the stairs to the office and your brain has not been damaged in a car accident, so you can actually process the work in front of you and all the things. Like, how many people that are I'm sure there's a billionaire, a big famous billionaire died this morning, and what it is, all the money in the world couldn't buy back what you have right now. The ability to be here and to get to experience 3D life. And it's not meant to be, always a walk in the park and just, butterflies and unicorns. And it's that contrast, that makes it all so sweet.
Yeah.
I just can't recommend this experience enough. Whoever is considering it or on the fence, just go for it. There's some empty spots still open, right? Later.
Yeah, there is.
In the year. For sure. Totally worth it.
And I have to shout out the synchronicity for my being able to be here was because somebody else couldn't be here.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So shout out to the literal donation of part of my
that's
ability
right.
to be here.
Yeah.
And then and paying that forward.
And the ripple of impact. Sam's here.
Daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that aligned. And who was that again?
Her name's Rosie.
Rosie. Oh, and of course you're Rose. See, so you're Samantha. Rosie helped Samantha Rose get here because she had to back out and then donated what she'd already put down, which then made it financially feasible on your end. And that's the thing that I've said to everyone that I've talked to is like, look, yes, there's a financial aspect to coming in a week and staying here and all the things that go with it. However, the way I view it is the same way this whole experience has been for me. Is like, it's been the biggest stretch of my life. I took the most comfortable situation you could ever hope for and totally disrupted of it to put this together, trusting and knowing that, what I need will be met, and trusting in that the net will appear, leaping and knowing the net will appear. And And I believe this is the way that we create abundance. It's like it's by actually making that stretch and saying, "Oh, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to figure it out." And then it's like, oh, voila. I mean, someone I just talked to last week, as soon as they made the commitment, they were on the fence. All of a sudden, something financially opened up for them. Like, oh my gosh, look what just happened. I didn't even count on getting this. If I had a nickel for every time that's happened with someone who's committed, who is fearful about the financial aspect of it. And, that's not to say if it's going to totally disrupt your life immediately to do it, but a lot of times if there's that excitement and fear, and especially if you're just fearful of something going wrong, like for me, that's when it makes sense on not just this, coming here, but in life in general, taking the plunge. Like if it excites you and it scares you a little, and you're not doing it because like, well, what if something goes wrong? Yeah, what if something goes right? And I really feel like this is the way I could look at this and say, oh my gosh, this costs me so much to do, or I could say, oh, this creates so much abundance. So it's like everything. It's all through the lens which you're looking at it, right? Well, if any of you guys out there are interested in talking about coming for a week, you can actually set up a chat with me if you go to calendly.com/talk with Brandon, and I'd love to talk with you. Anything that you guys want to add as we wind down? I mean, any words of wisdom, thoughts that you ponderings you want to leave people with? This is your moment on the Positive Head microphone, and I want to make sure you get it all out.
It's really cool to be here, honestly. And all the random people that'll just come by the house and walk through that you just happen to meet. Like, oh, this person's an energy healer. Oh, this person's a sound healer. We had a sound healing session with...
In light language.
What was her name?
Aurora.
Yes.
And she was wonderful. And it was super healing. And she let us hold her bowls that she does the sound healing with afterwards.
Crystal bowls.
Yes. And that was a really great experience. And just the opportunities to meet people, to try things that are so, you wouldn't have even thought to imagine.
Are you doing a quantum healing hypnotherapy session tomorrow?
No, I want to though. I wish I was, but I don't think it'll work out for tomorrow.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Who's doing one tomorrow? You're doing
Masha.
one. Masha's one.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Cool. Cool.
That sound bath therapy was super effective for me, I believe.
Yes.
You definitely.
I think I passed out on the first bong.
First bong.
First gong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I woke up super refreshed. 3.5 hours later.
Wow. And everyone's gone, and you're there like, where'd everyone go?
Everyone's gone. I'm in a different dimension.
Well, that's because Brandon was opening up portals.
That was a cool.
Didn't know what you were opening.
That was neat.
I saw it and I was
Fascinating.
just fascinated.
Yeah.
I felt it from sitting across from you because it was so big. It had this giant smoky quartz on top of it and copper running through it and leather things.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Someone put a lot of work and intention into that. Well, any last words of wisdom? Anything as we wind down?
I'm sure I'll think of something when you turn the mic.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah.
I guess I felt such an affinity for every single person here, and just Alex, go forth and do your thing. You do so well. I just hold the best for you. And then Masha, who comes from a similar professional background, boy, please take that forward. So many people need this and need us, and need it in a different way than they think. And we can bridge that gap.
Yeah, and bridging the gap of spirituality and psychology and just making it more accessible for everybody. Using our own flavors and our own essence to help guide people, and I really want to empower people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the only game in town.
Yeah, so that would be also my message is, trust yourself when you feel excited about something and follow those breadcrumbs. This isn't something that I would have said yes to a few years ago because I would have probably come up with excuses and self-limiting, or a scarcity kind of thoughts like, oh no, that's not for me. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spend a week for myself and give myself that luxury. But no, it's what you put out there will reflect back to you. And we're all abundant, powerful. So.
We're ones with the source that created everything. That's how abundant we are.
Yeah.
Like
It's-
all those physical realities and resources are like part of an extension of us. And it's like, how do we open the valve to call in more? And
Absolutely.
And Brandon, thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
You are
Brandon.
such a light. You have created such a space.
It's amazing.
It truly is.
thank
and,
you.
and to be able to be in your presence, I mean, you feel that through the podcast. You feel that
Yeah,
through,
we
through
do.
the speakers. But it's here. It's here. It's live. It's real.
I
It's
know, and that's
just
another
so
thing. It's
wonderful.
like, you're not necessarily starstruck. I mean, it's surreal to be here with Brandon and everybody that you hear on podcasts from thousands of miles away, at least in my case. And but you don't feel like part of the community, part of the family.
You are.
It's completely. Just
that's the thing. Is like
completely casual. It's so.
Easy.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's so it just flows so well. And
this place wouldn't be happening without you guys. Truly, you're co-creating it, and I've said it, and I'll say it again. It's like I couldn't be more grateful that you wanted to have this experience, and you're willing to co-create and willing to trust the process and leap into this wild Mystic Manor vortex, not fully knowing what to expect. And I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you, and all of you out there listening and continuing to support and follow this journey and support the show. And I'm so excited to show you guys what's coming with Optimistic. It's taken a little longer than we expected to get the initial trailer out there, which then the episodes themselves will come behind that. But I think by this time next week you will have all seen some glimpses into the show and it's looking like really cool. It's definitely even surpassing my expectations on like kind of the energetic appeal and visual appeal of it also. And you guys will see it live and direct tomorrow when you're on stage being a part of it. So this is just a little warm up for each of you.
all right.
Thank you all, everyone out there listening. Thank you for. I'm looking forward to going on a little adventure with you now.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go explore, create some more magic, and all of you out there, I hope you create magic in your day, whenever, wherever you are. You may be hearing this 1,000 years from now. Make it a magical day. Love you all so much. Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Love you.
Love you so much.
And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.